My name is Josh Quinn. Just so you know, we are live on DSTV channel 279, also live on Facebook. That's TV3 Ghana. Let's begin from the Labour front because the leadership of organized Labour has served notice not to attend any meeting with the Finance Ministry on Monday, February 6th, over the proposed 15% value-added tax on electricity consumption. President of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, Angel Kabonu, tells TV3 government is lagging on the issue after failing to attend an earlier meeting.
Organized Labour says government has demonstrated a lack of trust and disrespect towards them.
The people of Ghana have been disrespected. We are a subset of the Ghanaian society. And looking at the economic situation that is afflicting all of us. And government itself accedes to the fact that we are in an economic quagmire. So in this situation, is this the situation where you continuously dump taxes on your people?
He indicated that it would meet its rank and file to decide on the next action.
If what is being dumped on us is affecting us negatively, and the fact that we've announced that if that is not withdrawn, we can't help it but to advise ourselves. So let's see how the days go. The final decision is by the people who constitute organized labor.
We sought to find out whether Labour had considered the current economic conditions.
The state of the economy is amalgamation of the state of economy of the individuals. So when 30 million individuals' state of the individual economy is weak, it tells us the country's state of economy is weak. You cannot separate the economy of the state from the state of economy of the people. So anytime you take a decision, you look at the entirety of the Ghanaian populace and take a decision in that light.
Meanwhile, Labour expert Austin Game says government must play a leadership role by resolving all the numerous Labour agitations to prevent our government's machinery from collapsing. Take a listen.
It's so much a disappointment that we've all gotten where we've gotten to now. But of course, we have one leader who is the number one gentleman of the land, in whose hands we have the economy. So clearly, we have leadership role that must be played in resolving this kind of situation we find ourselves in. It's real. The president has admitted it. All the leadership people at the top of government, they have admitted it. But now, how to go about resolving these differences that plagued all of us is what is left. I think it's a challenge, a major challenge indeed. It appears this is now something between the devil and the deep blue sea. What is left is for it, first of all, to be honest with you, it does appear there is no alternative than the withdrawal in the first place.
Austin Game is a Labour consultant. Away from the Labour front, let's delve into politics. The leadership of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, in consultation with the respective regional executive committees, has constituted regional reconciliation committees. These committees are tasked with fostering unity and reconciliation within the party in every constituency in their respective regions. A statement released by the party indicates that the committees are further tasked with resolving any issues that have emanated from all party activities or events, including but not limited to polling station elections, constituency elections, regional elections, national elections, presidential elections, and parliamentary elections. Well, keep tap on this very development and surely update you in our subsequent bulletins. And now, commuting on the ACAA Motorway is now smooth following sectional repairs of the 19-kilometer stretch. The expressway is currently under temporary asphalting to mitigate potential hazards to motorists, while expansion and rehabilitation efforts are ongoing. This was the state of the ACAA Motorway before the sectional repair works. It was described by many as a death trap and not fit for purpose. 136 lives were lost on the expressway in the last 4 years. Drivers slowed down trying to maneuver their way out because of the cracks and potholes developed on the motorway. One of the immediate interventions of the project is to improve on these potholes to ensure free flow of traffic. The potholes have been temporarily asphalted while expansion and rehabilitation works continue. There are significant improvements in riding quality and traffic flow, making the first major renovation works in 58 years.
These sectional repairs using asphaltic overlays are just temporary measures to improve the riding surface whilst we do the construction. So that is not the final output.
The Ministry of Roads and Highways has pledged to expedite the completion of the expansion works.
The Minister has always said that we will treat project-affected persons with a human face. We will engage them, but at the same time, we will not allow any encroachment to be a standing block for the progress of this project.
The contractor is fully mobilized, working on road alignment and relocating 22 water crossing points. The expansion and rehabilitation of the ACAA Motorway is expected to span 3.5 years. We'll be following up on every aspect of the expansion projects and update you in a subsequent bulletin. If you just tuned in, you're watching the first news bulletin of the day right here on TV3 with me, Josh Quinn. The Ghana Revenue Authority's online platform for collecting the emissions levy is yet to be operational in spite of its February 1 implementation date. The levy requires motorcycles, vehicles, buses and coaches to pay between 75 to 300 cedis depending on their engine capacities. In this report, Judith Brown assesses the importance of the levy as well as efforts to kickstart its implementation.
The emission levy, which was passed by Parliament last year, is set to take effect February 1, 2024. Now, the Act will impose a levy on carbon dioxide equivalent emissions on internal combustion engine vehicles. In simple terms, if you own a car, then you will be paying for carbon emitted from your exhaust pipes. Well, according to the Ghana Revenue Authority, this levy aims to promote the adoption of eco-friendly technology and green energy for better control of air and water pollution. But for a country that contributes less to carbon emissions, what then is the essence of the collection?
The emissions in 2019 alone were about 16.3% higher than those of 2016. It's a very effective way of actually shifting, first of all, the mindset of people from high emitting goods and services. And, people will shift to more climate-friendly alternative services.
Although the levy is expected to generate an amount of 541 million cedis for the 2024 fiscal year, many have questioned its introduction, especially when the pollution levy is already being collected.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Why doesn't it make sense?
Because levy all around, and I don't think it can help us. Even the system is also not going well.
Because I don't understand why they are collecting the levy, because they are already taking the pollution levy and we pay for fuel. Then we would stop paying the roadworthy.
Dr. William Bannerman, however, says the emissions levy tackles a different issue altogether.
When you go to DVLA and then you test it for pollution, etc., these pollutants that are being tested there are usually visible pollutants, and they have direct public health implications. These emission levies are a little bit different because the greenhouse gases are not necessarily visible gases. You may have a very healthy engine, which is, it's a V8, it's burning, but it's really releasing carbon dioxide. It's going up there and, it will affect the climate.
Per the Ghana Revenue Authority, payment can only be made via the Ghana.gov platforms. But a checks reveal the platform is not functioning yet. As part of requirements, vehicle owners are to show proof of payment of the levy at DVLA offices before they can renew their roadworthiness certificates. Checks at the Chad or DVLA office, however, paints a different picture. Although authorities refuse to speak on record,
Our checks revealed collection has not yet begun. For now, it is unclear when collection of the emissions levy will begin. But until then, vehicle owners must brace themselves for what is ahead. Judith Brown, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, let's know what you make of stories that have been aired so far. Go on to our social media platform, particularly Facebook, because you're live. Engage us with your comment and opinions. Away from that, advancement in artificial intelligence, AI, can lead to manipulation of individuals into believing content which have been doctored for personal political interests. 2024, a year marked by over 16 national elections, raises concerns about misinformation and public opinion manipulation. I evaluate the influence of AI on the 2024 general elections and beyond. 2024 is expected to be a pivotal year for elections in countries like the US, UK, Germany, Russia, India, Iran, and Ghana, shaping the global geopolitical landscape. The 2024 Global Rex Report, a significant advancement in artificial intelligence, identified misinformation and disinformation as a top risk. The focus has been on the potential benefits and drawbacks of AI in electoral processes. The complexities of AI appear to be limited to the Western world, but some political figures in Ghana face the consequences. A typical example is Deputy Ambassador to China and former MP for Ablekuma North, Nana Ekwe-Owusu-Efriye, who was accused of visa fraud and embezzlement in the lead-up to the New Patriotic Party parliamentary primary. The video was AI-generated in a deepfake product. Whatever the intentions were, it clearly may have created some disaffection for the diplomat. Experts have expressed concern over the early emergence of AI-generated content before the 2024 general elections.
The political parties also need to come on board to understand the impact of false information or manipulated content in their campaigns and in their work. Because if they don't come on board, they'll spend a lot of time trying to debunk misinformation, which will take away their time actually to do campaign and tell us what their policies are.
A recent video shows the leader of the new force, Nana Kwame Bediako, taking the boxes of what is treason. For him, people should not embrace AI this way, as there are better benefits it can offer.
This is something that the authorities should take very, very serious. That person should be found. That person should be pulled out, and this should be terminated. We cannot educate our children this way. We cannot use such international technology that is supposed to be supporting us in many other things, including educating ourselves, to be the most negative part of doing things in our country.
For individuals who fall prey to deepfake content, it could incite some reactions in the form of violence. Communications team members of the MPP, NDC and PNC couldn't have said it any better.
You remember in 2016 there were pictures, and in 2020 there were pictures as well, and so on. So now, if it is video, and my mother in Asante Fiduase, who cannot read and write but can go to TikTok and watch videos, will see this and in a content that she can understand. It's really a disaster.
We are in a technological world, and we have to meet how technology is growing. So we have to find laws in order to curtail people who have deliberately decided to take advantage of AI to impersonate people.
Once that one gains prominence, undoubtedly you can imagine the repercussions on the consequences thereof. So for me, I think that the appropriate agencies that we have, they should be able to have mechanisms in place to ensure that they deal with some of these possible threats.
Political marketing expert Professor Kobe Mensah expects political parties to adopt modern-day campaign strategies to manage deepfake.
We're going to see quite a lot of these things, political operatives and political parties using them because they don't want to be seen as they are the ones, So you have a lot of these fake, things coming on.
He doesn't expect victims of AI-generated content to rely heavily on security agencies in fishing out perpetrators, as they'll be disappointed.
I hardly think that our security agencies really have what it takes in terms of the technological, investment to be identifying deepfakes, as in who created it, where they created it from. Most of these are being created from very far away regimes.
A cross-section of electorate who are student journalists are ready to take up the task of educating the masses on deepfake.
The reason my mother, if she's not educated, brought me to school is for me to be educated. And what do I give back as a student to my community? So it is my responsibility to also let them in on what is happening in the world right now.
As an educated person, it's up to you to know where to check for your facts, make sure that everything you're hearing is what it is.
Fake Check Ghana, a project by the Media Foundation for West Africa, is equally assisting in enhancing fact-based public discourse and decision-making in Ghana's democratic governance. AI-generated content are red-flagged. The Global Risk Report 2024 warns that disinformation in elections could destabilize societies by discrediting and questioning the legitimacy of government. Proponents of AI argue that the same generative AI technology that could undermine democracies could also help combat nefarious forces seeking to do so. One thing remains clear: AI is a necessary evil. You abandon it at your own risk or take it with its associated uncertainties. George Quaiding, TV3 News, Accra. Interesting days ahead, but in all these, TV3 has got you covered. That's how we end the morning news. For more news updates, you want to log on to our website, is 3news.com. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming your way. Have a good morning.